Hi guys, I'm Dennis. Welcome to my channel, Guy with a Plant. In today's episode, I'll be doing some repotting. So let's take a look at two of the plants that I'll be repotting today. Okay, it's super sunny right now. It's 9 a.m. and I'm just seated next to the balcony. So the light might be a little bit too harsh and washed out. Bear with me. The first plant I'm going to show you is an Anthurium. This is the Anthurium vittarifolium. One of those pendant Anthuriums. In fact, I have two of them. These are grown from mere seedlings almost, I would say, 2 years ago, or at least 1.5 years back. When I got them, they were really cute and small. I shall put a photo here. And now they have grown to pretty reasonable size. I suspect that they have the potential to grow even much bigger than this. And I think it's because they are in this very small terracotta pots. And it's really drying them out really quickly. This Anthurium is more interesting to me compared to those regular heart-shaped velvety types, which, to be honest, they don't really do well in my conditions because of my lack of humidity. But yeah, these are really hardy. So they are known as the pendant Anthuriums because of the elongated leaves. And as they mature, the leaves will actually will droop downwards, which makes a really lovely foliage. So this is similar to the other pendant Anthuriums like the pallidifolium and the Lingeri. Those are the more uncommon ones, so they are definitely more expensive if you manage to get hold of them. This is a very common pendant Anthurium which you can start off with. I think they still have the potential to grow further. So I gave it some sphagnum moss as top dressing to try to keep the humidity levels up. I must confess that I neglected them a little bit when I decided that they probably needed a little bit more light. So I moved them out into this balcony, which gets a lot of direct sun, even though it's morning sun, but the sun can be really harsh in the first 4 hours of the day, and they didn't really like it. The leaves turn yellow, so I've decided to bring them in 2 months back, and yeah, they started to give me this new leaves which are really long and nice, and it's starting to droop, having this more mature look. This one as well. Yeah, this is the new leaf. Still very soft. So I hope by repotting them, I can give their root balls more space to grow and hopefully give me much nicer and longer leaves. I'm going to use this plastic net pot which has a lot of cutouts, so it's going to be really airy and I don't have to worry about overwatering. In fact, I'm going to water it more frequently to keep the roots moist, but yet it won't be soggy wet. For the potting medium, I'm going to use this aroid mix, which is really loose, with lots of perlite, pine bark, and cocoa chips. Okay, let's remove this smaller one from the pot. So I'm going to use this small spoon to gently loosen the potting medium. I think the roots of Anthuriums are really thick and chunky, so they are not fragile at all. Yeah, I've neglected this in terms of watering too because it was really irregular. Sometimes I'll water it more frequently and yeah, sometimes less. So this is a really resilient Anthurium. And unlike those velvety heart-shaped types, yeah, it doesn't give me any brown edges or yellowing tips whatsoever. Really easy. Okay, it's out. Let's take a look. The root ball. Actually, I wouldn't say it's very root bound yet, but I think you can use a bigger pot. So like I mentioned, the roots are really chunky. Okay, let's take a look at the other one. Same thing. I think this is a little bit more root bound than the other one. It seems it's really snug. Okay. Whoa. Look at this one. Alright, this is super root bound. So I think it's a good decision to repot them. Look at this. Wow. So in addition to the aeroid mix, I'm going to add in a little bit more cocoa chips. These chunky cocoa chips, which I think they'll appreciate for their roots to grip onto. Okay, I'm going to use these chunky bugs to place at the bottom of the net pot to prevent any smaller pieces from escaping. I'm just going to mix in some cocoa chips. Okay, you know what? I think this pot is way too small, or at least in terms of the height, is not tall enough for this root ball. So I'm going to get a bigger one. Okay, unfortunately, the next bigger pot that I have is this size, which is pretty big. But at least it's taller and definitely is way much bigger. I'll try to see if I can just fill up to 3/4 of the pot. Let's start all over. So the bigger pieces of bug chips will go at the bottom as usual. More cocoa chips. Sometimes I feel as if I'm in a cooking show, you know, mixing up all the ingredients. Plant. Okay. Okay, I don't want to add too much potting medium into this because I want to leave some space for sphagnum moss. So this is the first plant. Okay, the next one, the smaller plant. So again, the bigger chips are going in first. Let's see. Okay, a little bit more. Okay, the second one is done too. So I got some sphagnum moss here. Okay, the moss is wet. So let's top dress these Anthuriums. Okay, the next one. Okay, so that's done. Okay, so these two Anthurium vittarifoliums are repotted in their new homes. Hopefully these pots are not too big for them. Alright, so the second plant which I'm going to repot is this. Very beautiful Epipremnum aureum, marble queen. I'm really amazed by this particular plant because I grew it from, I think, a 3-leaf cutting. The original mother plant had about 6 or 7 leaves when I first got it. It was also a cutting, but unfortunately that didn't survive. But I managed to salvage a small cutting. But the cutting was growing very slowly. Initially, there weren't any new growth at all for the first few months, and I thought, oh, this is a very difficult Epipremnum. And then suddenly there was a growth spurt, and yeah, I have all these leaves that sprouted out, and you can see there's a lot of aerial roots as well, which Actually, I can cut it up and propagate them individually, but I have another plan. I thought I would just repot this, twirl it around, and let it grow as a very large plant. I'm a little bit apprehensive to disturb this because it has been growing so well. I'm going to use this nursery pot. This is, I think, about 6 inch. It's a 6-inch pot. I think it should be about the right size. I wanted to use a terracotta pot because I think it will look really beautiful, but initially the original mother plant was growing in a terracotta pot and that dried out way too fast for its liking. And I'm going to use something that is more organic rather than an aeroid mix. So, but it's still very loose. This is a recycled potting mix because there was something that was growing in here and it died. I don't know what was that. But anyway, I'm just going to use this. And I'm going to mix it with some more cocoa peat. I think it's cocoa peat or just regular garden soil to give it a more organic mix. And maybe I'll mix in some of the aeroid mix as well to give it some aeration. So yeah, some chunky cocoa chips to cover up the drainage holes. Just going to mix it a little bit. Okay, let's remove the plants from its original pot. It's really small, as you can see. But it's a little bit root bound. Wow, check this out. So yep, it's a good thing that I'm repotting this. Alright, so this is potted up. You can see how organic the potting medium is, which I think this marble queen will like. So what I'm going to do, like I mentioned, I'm going to twirl this vine around within the pot itself. And since it has so many aerial roots, as you can see, I hope it will start to root itself and to grow more robustly. Be really careful to shape this vine without breaking it and without breaking any of the aerial roots, hopefully. Yeah, just going to make some holes in the soil. Really gently. It's definitely not enough. I'm going to add a little bit more soil, and I'm going to use this wire tidy, this kind of soft fastener, to push the vine into the soil and hopefully to keep it in place so that it can stabilize the plant to allow it to root properly. Okay, I've cut a small piece of the wire and I'm just going to jam it in to hold the vine into. Doesn't seem to be working. Let me try. Okay, I can't do this with one hand, so let me try to do this. I'll get back shortly. Okay, the wires are in, but I don't think it's doing a very good job. So what I'm going to do is add a little bit more soil to try to cover up the roots. And yeah, hopefully this will grow into a bushy and a nice specimen. The queen likes a lot of bright light to keep its very beautiful variegation. Look at this creamy white variegation, really nice. But do keep in mind not to give it direct sun because the leaves will burn. And yeah, since it's now in the bigger pot, I got to be careful not to overwater it. Okay, so I've repotted this marble queen as well as my Anthuriums. Very happy that I got it done today. So thank you for watching this episode. If you like more contents like that, I hope you can subscribe to my channel. And I shall see you in my next episode. But meanwhile, take care. And also remember to show your plants some love.